perception of her life.
Yeah, that is deep. You know, she's been being for a long time. Since a kid, she's been being bro. You know,
On The Cosby Show, you were the world's sweetheart.
Raven has been performing in front of 44 million people since she was 3 years old.
There's so much pressure to be feminine beauty.
Well, you look very attractive tonight.
Thank you. There's a lot of rules in place. How cute can you be? How sexy can you be without showing my sexuality? I knew that this can't be talked about.
What happened to Raven on The Cosby Show?
I just black out.
I would appreciate it if it will not appear anywhere.
I didn't want to tell my parents. I knew I couldn't say it out loud, but that eats at your soul. That eats at your soul.
Hold up, was Raven-Symoné forced to become an S while she was still under her Disney contract? Orlando Brown is back in the news again, and this time he's spilling some major tea about how Raven-Symoné was allegedly forced into S while she was still underage. According to Raven herself, she was heavily mistreated and forced into an unhealthy diet to lose weight so she could be more attractive to the potential creeps who were watching her on TV every day. Raven was also pushed into this Hollywood lifestyle by her parents when she was just 7 years old, and hasn't been the same ever since. Not only did they make her hide her sexuality, but they manipulated her into doing some very disturbing things with the promise of making her a star. The mistreatment got so bad that Raven literally quit everything and ran away from the industry at the peak of her career. But before we get into all that, let's start from the time that Raven first started in the industry. Before Raven got her big break from the popular Disney show That's So Raven, she had already starred in other TV shows like The Cosby Show, where she played the role of Bill Cosby's step-granddaughter, and Hanging with Mr. Cooper, where she played the character Nicole Lee. But like I said, it was her show on Disney, That's So Raven, that really took her career to a whole different level. Aside from her success on the show, she also played in the Cheetah Girls and released several songs under Disney. But of course, all of this success came with its own troubles, and unfortunately for Raven, it messed her up big time. Raven opened up about how several executives in the industry would tell her to limit the amount of food she was eating because she was gaining too much weight. She said that the pressure about her weight started all the way back when she was just 7 years old, starring in The Cosby Show. They would literally tell her not to eat on set and refuse to bring any food around her. Mind you, she wasn't even 10 years old yet, and they were already starving her on set, knowing full well she was sometimes made to work on set for up to 12 hours a day. I remember not being able to have the bagel or anything. We would call it crafty, where it's just a table of food ready for you to get whatever you want. And I remember people would be like, "You can't eat that, you're getting fat." I'm like, I'm 7, I'm hungry. It was hard.
I wish I was living now.
As a younger person,
I probably wouldn't have so many mental issues.
Throughout your life, through your career, the things that were said to you. Do you remember anything in particular that sort of haunts you, that someone said to you at an early age about the way you look that still affects you today?
I was too big to be doing an 1.5-hour concert. I don't know how she can dance being that big.
Wow.
And I was like, and I still did it. I went on tour forever because it's not about your size. It's about what you have to say, if you can sing or dance, and performing. It's not about your size.
But that wasn't all. She was also forced to keep her sexuality a secret because they wanted her to continue to be accessible to the men that watch her. They practically forced Raven into hiding her sexuality and forced her to date men so she wouldn't raise any suspicions.
My likeness, whether you see it in an interview, whether you see it on print, whether you see it, however you see it at that time, had 15 people dictating what I should and should not look like. If I did whatever I want, I'm not gonna sell because it doesn't go with the brand. I was branded at such a young age. And then you wonder why all of these child stars have these issues. You were not allowing them to grow up as human beings. You were stifling them at the youngest and most important development age of their time, and then you expect them to be normal later? I never thought I would ever come out. I never thought I would come out because my personal life didn't matter. It was only what was supposed to be sold as, you know, the Raven-Symoné brand. So it was something that I always thought in my head, I'll always have a friend. I'll have a husband and I'll have a friend on the side so I can be happy. So I can have both, you know, taken care of. I get this, you get the beard, you get whatever. That didn't last. I don't care anymore because I fell in love. and I was kind of over the industry. I wanted to retire.
Now, for those of y'all who don't know, one of the men that Raven dated to hide her sexuality so that she could be more marketable to men was Orlando Brown. Yeah, you heard that right. They both starred in That's So Raven together, and their team decided to use Orlando as her cover-up boyfriend. Back in 2016, when Orlando was asked about this is what he had to say.
Well, speaking of Raven and Mickey Mouse, you had that line in No Fear.
Yeah.
You know what line I'm talking about?
Yeah, tell Minnie Mouse to suck my sack like Raven did when she was black. When you hear that rat-a-tat, I suggest you scat.
That, yeah.
Yeah, well, I meant just that.
Just that?
Just that, yeah.
So
you know?
what do you mean to say like Raven did when she was black?
I mean, I told you in the first interview, I mean, she gave me, and then I gave her some, yeah.
But despite Orlando being hesitant with talking about his relationship with Raven, he's been very loud about how the industry underage kids and forces them to participate in despicable things, some of which Raven has also been rumored to be a victim of. Orlando later confirmed the rumors during a sit-down interview with Cam Capone News, where he said he witnessed a lot of sinister things in the industry that seriously messed him up.
A lot of things that will make you buckle, bro. They make you buckle, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, cause man, people done lost their families, bro. People done lost their kids and shit. People, a lot of stuff.
But Orlando was not done yet. He said the reason why the industry is able to get away with the horrific things that they do to child stars like Raven is because their parents are also usually in on the whole thing and allow it to happen in exchange for money. They see all the money that their kids bring them and decide to allow the industry to do whatever they want with them.
They're shipping and trafficking and people, adults, the moms, the dads, right there on Target commercials, right there on Walmart commercials. And you're looking at the people that are missing and they're smiling like they're happy, but they're going back to hell. You know, I just think that, you know, people just need to realize what they're looking at when they're watching the television. Everything is right in front of you. The revolution was televised and don't nobody give a shit.
What's even worse is that Orlando is not the first to speak out on the exploitation of child stars in Hollywood. Other celebrities have also said this before, but just like Orlando, they've been labeled as crazy, with one of them being Corey Feldman, who was also a child star and ended up with some serious problems.
That there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
And they are.
And they do not want me saying what I'm saying right now.
Are you saying that they're pedophiles?
Yes.
And that they're still in this business?
Yes.
And just like Orlando, Corey's comments were dismissed and pushed aside because people thought it was his addiction that was making him talk crazy, and that he was just making things up for attention. He later released a documentary in 2020 titled My Truth, where he name-dropped everyone who SA'd him, including actor Charlie Sheen and talent manager Marty Weiss. These allegations were confirmed by Corey's ex-wife Susie Feldman and his Lost Boys castmate Jameson Newlander, who witnessed some of it happen. Now, going back to Raven, she came in the news again a few years ago when it came out that Bill Cosby was a raging predator who SAs a lot of women in the industry, including underage girls. Many people immediately started wondering if Raven was a part of the many girls he inappropriately touched. If you remember, she did used to star in The Cosby Show before getting discovered at Disney. And if Bill was out here doing these disgusting things to other people, there's no guarantee that he didn't turn his attention to Raven at one point too. What's even more interesting is that these speculations started going around, and Raven actually came out and said that Bill never touched her. She wrote on Instagram, "I was not taken advantage of by Mr. Cosby when I was on The Cosby Show. I was practically a baby on that show, and this is a truly disgusting rumor that I want no part of. Everyone on that show treated me with nothing but kindness. Now keep me out of this." Literally no one on earth believed a word in this statement because it was clearly written by her team and not Raven herself. People speculated at the time that Raven's team probably put out this statement because they didn't want her to relive her trauma. Not only that, but the statement also had some inconsistencies that further proved that Raven was not in agreement with it. For example, the statement said that everyone on the show treated her with nothing but love and respect. But Raven was the same person who called the show out for forcing her to go on an extreme weight loss diet when she was just 7 years old. As if that wasn't already suspicious enough, Orlando Brown recently appeared in an explosive interview with Real Life Productions, and he said that he and Raven have been feuding for a while now because she don't like the fact that he keep exposing all her trauma on the internet. He accused her of trying to kill him and even attempting to kidnap his kids.
Raven been going through a lot, bro. She been trying to kill me. She kidnapped my kids, all kind of. She been doing something. So it's kind of hard for her to come out and everybody knows she been doing for so long.
But he didn't stop there. He also dropped a major bombshell when he said that Raven was being prostituted in the industry since she was a kid. He said her family was in on it and they watched her get passed around the industry like an escort.
I would love to hear Raven's truth of her perception of her.
Yeah, that is deep. You know, she's been being prostituted for a long time. Since a kid, she been being prostituted, bro. You know, her mom, dad, nobody give a fuck about her, bro. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares, bro. No,
Now, it's unclear where Orlando got all this tea from, but y'all have to remember that they literally had a PR relationship at some point. So if anyone knows her in and out, then it's definitely him. Aside from that, they literally starred on a TV show together, and they get in touch for a few years after the show until Orlando fell into his substance addiction. It's really disgusting how the industry has played with Raven, but the truth is all coming out now, and Orlando is not afraid to speak and say the things the way it is. As usual, people had their own thoughts about this, like this person who said, "Everything he says here is true. Behind all the craziness, he's telling us the truth, disguised as insane talk and hyperbole. What happened to Raven happened to all child celebrities, no exceptions. Even people you wouldn't expect. Entertainment industry is sick." Another person said, "I'm very upset with you, Orlando. Whatever happened to Raven was personal. It was her story to tell whenever, if she decided to tell it. You had no right to put her on blast like this. She may not be ready to deal with the mental and emotional aspect of having the world know what happened to her. You betrayed her, dude." But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Orlando exposing the industry? And do y'all think Raven was really prostituted around the industry? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.